What the fuck going on, man? It's your boy Grandzo, back with another reaction. At this point, I don't even know what I'm reacting to. I'm about to react to HSM, the largest crew takedown in rap history. I don't even know who they is, but we about to get right into it, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's get right into this.
This operation was intended to dismantle the NOB gang and take the most violent members of that gang off the street.
I don't expect to see these individuals out on the street the next day wearing a bracelet.
31 members and associates of Dorchester-based NOB street gang are now facing federal charges. Some were arrested this morning during raids in various parts of the state, including this scene in Attleboro.
Alright, we gotta talk about the NOB story. Probably one of the wildest things we've seen in a while. Also one of the biggest RICO cases in rap history. I'm talking 31 people taken down for
Damn.
RICO conspiracy spanning from Boston to Cape Cod to Maine and all across Massachusetts. So the faces of NOB are two rappers by the name of G Fredo and 7981 Cal. They got tracks with Polo G, Mozzie, but they're pretty slept on in the mainstream. Everybody locally knows them, especially the feds who had been watching for
Nigga said niggas locally know him, but especially the feds. The feds know him. The feds really know him. Out of everybody, that's who really know him. The feds.
Years. And they actually started to build a case against them in 2019 when they noticed these dudes were recreating murder scenes in their music videos that had gone unsolved in the city. They were filming music videos.
Oh Lord. These niggas worse than motherfucking who else be snitching on themselves? Motherfucking TJX6 shit. These niggas, and they this way worse crime. Nigga, you get 100 years for this. Like, you trip.
Videos on their ops block, burning their ops' hats and super reckless shit. The feds were able to
Talking about some burning the ops hat.
videos on their ops.
Nigga, that's
Their
a
music videos that had gone unsolved in the city. They were filming music videos on their ops block, burning their
that's a goddamn Houston Astros hat. Nigga, that's a baseball team. They ops the baseball team. Unless that's for Hoover or some shit. Other than that, man, shit ain't for Hoover, nigga. That's a baseball team, nigga.
their ops' hats and super reckless shit. The feds were able to connect these music videos to a larger RICO conspiracy involving murders, beatings, bank fraud, pimping rings, and coke and fentanyl distribution across several state lines.
In fact, a couple of them were wearing GPS bracelets while committing their alleged.
What's crazy is the NOB gang knew this was coming. The rapper 7981 Cal even released a song called Rico a couple days ago. They could feel the walls closing in. Now, we're gonna get into all
That's usually how it is. Niggas be knowing, like, man, these folks about to come get me, man.
this, but before we do, check out my song of the day.
Come on,
this is my
bro.
guy
Come on,
Foggy
bro.
Raw. Let's
Come
go.
on, bro. Alright, come on, bro. You always doing this shit. This damn song of the day shit, man.
And she a beat.
Alright, in order to understand this story, we gotta go to one hood in particular in Boston called Dorchester, and this is the home of the NOB gang. Now, NOB stands for the three streets that they rep: Norton, Olney, and Berry Street. And they've had this huge beef with two blocks that are literally 5 minutes away from them in both directions. Holmes Avenue to the south and Camrose Street to the east. Now what's crazy is most, if not all, the members of NOB are Cape Verdean. See, a lot of people don't know this, but Boston and the surrounding areas in Massachusetts have the highest
That nigga said Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
Cape Verdean population outside of Cape Verde in the world, because a lot of folks from Cape Verde migrated to Massachusetts to take
He
part
still
in
saying that. Nigga really saying Massachusetts. It was Massachusetts. Massachusetts? Boston, Massachusetts? Massachusetts? Massachusetts?
the whaling industry, where they would go off to the sea hunting for whales for their oil, meat, and whalebone, which that was big business till the 1920s. Then the industry died out. Boston became super gentrified, making rent literally the third most expensive in America, pushing people
Oh, they tripping. Them niggas tripping.
into hoods, and you ended up with these triple-decker houses, many of which needed Section 8 to survive. But this is where it gets crazy. Not only are NOB mostly Cape Verdean, but the blocks that they're beefing with are also Cape Verdean, so you end up with cases where you literally got some cousins who are fighting each other. Blood cousins from opposite blocks, beefing with each other. I mean,
It ain't no first shit. This shit been happening. That shit ain't new.
I heard stories that the rapper G Fredo was at a family event with his own ops, and there was so much tension there, they had to separate them on each side of the party away from each other until it just got too hot and they had to cancel the event altogether. Now, in 2017, G Fredo and 7981 Cal started releasing tracks to SoundCloud, and they were documenting everything they were doing in the streets, and this shit was escalating quickly. One day in September of 2017, 7981 Cal and his homie Ricky were casing this Cape Verdean barbershop because they had seen one of their ops from Cameron Street go in there for a shape-up. Now, his name was Bunzo, and the NOB gang were notorious for using these scooters to do hits, because scooters are super mobile, you can get in and out of places that cars can't get into. So Bunzo went into the barbershop, and 7981 Cal pulled up on a scooter, following him into the barber's, and allegedly unloaded 30 rounds into him, killing him on the spot. Cal got back on the scooter and dipped. The only problem for them was, at the time, his homie Ricky, who was casing the barbershop with him, was court-ordered to wear a GPS monitor, which gave the Boston PD the GPS info of him driving past the barbershop multiple times before.
Like, both y'all niggas some nuts. He nut because he know he got the monitor on, and then the other nigga a nut because you know he got the monitor on. So why you gonna bring him with you? Like, nigga, they on his ass. They got GPS on his ass. Nigga, they know everywhere he at. Like, the fuck?
Or Bunzo was murdered. So the police got all that GPS data to prove that he's doing reconnaissance for the murder. Now, the state didn't act on it right away. Maybe it wasn't enough evidence. Maybe they weren't piecing that together. I don't know. And the shit continued to get violent. Right after they killed this guy Bunzo, Cal and G Fredo made the song Dead Ops, and they were just taunting Cameron Street. And what's wild about the music is G Fredo and Cal are getting hundreds of thousands of listens on SoundCloud. Meanwhile, their rivals from Cameron Street got no music, none. It's like a one-sided battle in the booth, right? They're beating up on them on the tracks, basically controlling the narrative. And while all this is going on, the NOB gang was spreading their enterprise. They opened up some trap houses where they were packing up heroin, fentanyl, coke, and they had a huge customer network that went as far as Cape Cod in one direction and Maine in the other. If one of the NOB members got booked, someone would take their place, and the money would get relayed back to 7981 Cal, who would pay for their lawyers, give them canteen money. I even heard stories of Cal and G Fredo getting dressed up as junkies to go down to the crackhead spot in the city, which is an intersection in Boston called the Methadone Mile. And they would do deals as crackheads. But the problem was the state was onto them, right? The Boston police had
I was about to say that shit's smart, but I don't even know how smart that is. It's kinda smart though.
several undercover officers playing the role of addicts who went to go make purchases off NOB members who were dealing. They had transaction records through text and phone, and they started to build up some evidence of the drug trafficking that NOB was doing. But even the state didn't know the scope of things. They might have made a couple of petty drug arrests here and there, but NOB kept expanding their operations. One night in February of 2018, G Fredo and one of his shooters pulled up to Cameron Street in a Chrysler Pacifica. They were doing a drill. They saw one of their rivals, whose name was John Collin, chilling in front of it.
Hold up. I'm on that real quick.
G Fredo and one of his shooters pulled up to Cameron Street in a Chrysler Pacifica. They were doing a drill.
Now how the fuck he know all that? How the fuck he know the car they pulled up in, the motherfucking, and they was doing the drill? Like, come on, bro. You all ratting and shit, snitching.
They saw one of their rivals, whose name was John Collin, chilling in front of his house. So they doubled back a second time and pulled the car in slowly. G Fredo and his boy went stealth mode through an alley that was adjacent to John's house, and once they saw him, they started shooting. Once they dropped him, they made it back to the Chrysler and dipped. And a woman rushed over to John to see if he was okay, and as he was bleeding out, he pointed to the Chrysler and said, "That was G Fredo." And
oh, come on, bro. You going out bad, man. I don't care if you dying, nigga. You ain't supposed to snitch, man. I don't care if you dying. Shit.
He bled out and died. Less than 6 weeks after that murder, G. Fredo put out the song They Don't Know, where he basically recreates the murder scene of John Collin in his music video. Now, something about Fredo was he was known as the small dude with the itchy trigger finger. He would often head over to Cameron Street just looking for trouble. I heard stories of grown-ass men like OGs from the block that would see him coming and start running, which, I mean, I would too. Bullets don't discriminate with your age. You could be 19 and small with a gun, I'm running. And the rumors on the internet is that Fredo has at least...
Shit, you better run, cause motherfucking young nigga with the gun gonna be the motherfucker that's gonna shoot your nut ass, cause he ain't thinking. That nigga ain't smart, so that's gonna be the one that's gonna shoot you.
At least 5 bodies, including his childhood friend who went by the name of Smoke, who he actually shouts out on a song called What Happened. I think the lyrics go, trying to do a kid like who? Trying to do him like Smoke. This was allegedly one of his close friends who, I guess he had to do him like that. Now, SG Fredo...
Oh, Lord. And he telling on himself like that he killed his friend? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You on some nut shit.
Fredo is racking up kills. His music is also doing really well, especially in the city. And he and 7981 Cal started to call their rap collective HSM, which stood for Headshot Mafia. Basically, you couldn't join unless you got a body. Now, as the music was picked...
Wow. That's gonna be a limited amount of people. Shit. Or most of these niggas gonna be in jail. Shit.
Picking up speed, the Boston police were starting to tap in a little more. They actually set up surveillance at NOB territories and Cameron Street territories just to try and reduce the killings. In March of 2018, less than 2 months after the murder of John Collin, investigators were conducting surveillance near G. Fredo's place. They saw Fredo get picked up in a rented SUV, driving towards a residential neighborhood associated with Cameron Street. And the only reason for NOB members to be driving to that area was clearly they were looking to do drills, right? But they noticed they were being tailed by police, so they started to drive and swerve in a way to get them off their trail. This led to a high-speed chase where Fredo was in the back seat and tossed the guns out the window of the SUV somewhere on the highway, dipping in and out of traffic until eventually the cops pulled him over and arrested everybody. Now, a couple people got booked, but nothing too serious. And it wasn't until the summer of 2019 where the Boston police said, listen, this is getting out of control. We need bigger guns. So they called in the feds to assist in the investigation. Now, in July of 2019, a kid was headshot by an NOB member. And 2 days after he died, Fredo released the video for the song Die Homes.
Look, pop out of his bushes like what? That this glizzy I'm slamming gon' leave that stuck. We sticked up.
Now, he was violating with this one. He was setting their ops' clothes on fire, simulating executions of Holmes gang members, and he filmed it right on their block, right? It was super
That was just his clothes. I think like that was his motherfucking flag or some shit. Or that's they motherfucking
disrespectful. All while this is going on, the feds were monitoring this shit like it was The Wire. They intercepted calls between NOB members that was coded language. They were talking about eating fish, which was coded language for take out anyone you thought was Cameron Street. I'll read a bit of the transcript, right? Check this out. Even if I'm out fishing and I got my hook in the water, I'm not gonna catch that fish because I don't know what these fishes look like, bro. Now the dude on the other line goes, any fish is food. We live in the ocean. Even if you think it's friendly, you eat that fish. Just some demonic shit, right? While all this is going on.
Hey. That's a good way to just code it, shit, cause that's, feel me? I don't care a fuck about no fish being friendly. Nigga,
G. Fredo and Cal are blowing up on SoundCloud, right? They did a music video with Polo G that summer. They did one with Mozzie in October of 2019. Now, the kid who was headshot in July of 2019, he actually had a twin brother who tried to leave Cameron Street and he tried to escape detention with NOB. They caught up to him all the way out in the suburbs of Boston, like 45 minutes away. And they did that in February of 2020. So you don't escape this. This was kind of the last straw, right? The feds had been building and building and building this case since summer of 2019. And the reason the feds were brought in was to establish what's called RICO charges. Now, you probably heard of that maybe from the Treyway case with 6ix9ine, where they got RICO charges. Basically, before the RICO Act was signed into law, I think by President Reagan, it was virtually impossible to prosecute the high-level mafia dons or the leaders of the gangs, right? Because they rarely ever had direct paper trail or direct evidence of them committing the crimes. It was always enforcers. So the RICO Act let the government charge everybody as a criminal organization responsible for the individual actions people inside that gang took. So if somebody commits a murder for the express purpose of moving up in the gang and elevating the criminal enterprise, everybody can be responsible for it under RICO charges. So a couple weeks ago, the feds came in, they did a huge raid in a bunch of different boroughs of Massachusetts. They swooped in and they took down 31 members of the NOB gang, including G Fredo and 7981 Cal. And as I said, literally a couple days ago, 7981 Cal released a music video for his song Rico, right? Because they knew this was coming. And looking at the indictments, they have people on bank fraud, they got people on pimping rings, they got, of course, the drug trafficking stuff from the trap houses where they were, distributing fentanyl. Of course, they got the murder charges, attempt murder charges. Reading the indictments is pretty solid. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens, but when the feds come, they don't play. I think their conviction rate is 95%.
That's where they fucked up at, doing all that nut shit. Killing niggas and shit. Shit has been trying to get some money the whole time. They'd been getting some money the whole time. I mean, feds probably still would have been on their ass, but they wouldn't have been on their ass like how they really on their ass. Yeah, man. And that's it for this video, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. I'm out this bitch.